It takes a lot of sweat and hard work. Hours of practice. But if you're willing to sacrifice, you make it to the start of another high school football season.
Comcast Varsity Sports Zone presents high school football. The 2007 season opener has the York High Bearcats playing host to the Reading Red Knights. Hello, everybody, and welcome high atop the press box here at Smalls Athletic Field in downtown York. Chris Bupp, along with broadcast partner Craig Smith, bringing you another season of high school football. A perfect night for the season opener, Craig. Very, very different from just 1 year ago when these two teams met.
Very different. A very heavy rainfall fell in Reading, and that game went into overtime. There was only one score in the game, and the York High Bearcats won that game 6-0 in overtime. Reading Red Knights looking for revenge tonight.
Well, Coach Victor Brown and his Red Knights come off a 2-8 season last year, a tough loss to York High in the season opener, but he has back Mr. Malcolm Williams. We're going to see a lot of him tonight, and we're going to see him all over the field.
Yeah, and their spread offense, Malcolm Williams is going to really be a factor. He's going to take snaps at quarterback, but with his 4.4 speed, they're going to use him as a wideout as well, use another quarterback so he can come in and line up at any position and be a threat at any position.
And on the other side, Matt Ortega brings his 5-5 Bearcats off a season in which a little bit disappointing, but Malik Jenneret's a guy a lot of people talk about, but we're going to focus on Mike Kynard tonight, a guy who's going to touch the football a lot, and another guy who we're going to see all over the field.
Absolutely, and he is a dynamic running back out of that tailback spot. York High is going to get great running from their fullbacks and great quarterback play from Malik Jenneret, but Mike Kynard is the kind of guy that can break open the long one or just move the chains for you.
Well, both coaches said we're going to spread it out and it's going to be wide open, so it should be a fun game this evening. Come on back and join us right here on Comcast for all the action between the Red Knights and the Bearcats in just a moment.
Why is it you two have so much trouble communicating?
I don't like the way he talks to me. He doesn't have to use that kind of language.
All I said was that you had a big osteo fight. Oh, okay, well, what about the secrets you kept from me?
Oh, so I didn't tell you about my drug allergies. Big deal.
That could have been nasty.
Ooh. Okay. So how come I always have to go to your place?
I'd be happy to come to you, Judith. I can't fit the x-ray machine in my car. How's your shoulder doing anyway?
Fine.
Yeah?
I worked up to 3-pound dumbbells yesterday.
Really? Huh. Just 3 weeks after surgery. That's pretty good.
Yeah?
Communication is the best medicine. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Well, now we're getting somewhere. Group hug.
Drivers face all kinds of distractions.
Guys, stop playing now. 127 consecutive.
Before your wireless phone becomes one of them, stop. Drive safely. Keep your phone in easy reach and dial sensibly. In bad weather or traffic, call later and use a hands-free device. Remember, with wireless, safety is your call.
Well, welcome back to Smalls Athletic Field, commonly called in the York area the Meadow. Chris Bupp back with Craig Smith and a dynamic version of the national anthem. And both teams out on the field and ready to get going and start this 2007 season. And we are as well here at Comcast.
And a perfect night, Chris Bupp. 77 degrees here at kickoff. A mild wind, 5 miles per hour, not a factor tonight. And as we alluded to in the opening, much better weather than what we had a year ago in this game. Look at that humidity for the last day of August.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
You see some of the staff over there on the Reading sideline. The Red Knights will kick it off. And the Bearcats will get the ball first. Back deep for the Bearcats, Mike Kiner, the guy we talked about in the open, and Robert Richardson. One thing we didn't mention in the open there is Coach Victor Brown in his 4th season. We mentioned coming off a tough season at 2-8 last year, and really the injury bug bit Malcolm Williams, and that was really hurtful to the Reading program.
Yeah, actually, Williams got hurt on the 2nd play of the York High game, broke his hand, did play through that game at the end, then played with a cast until he separated his shoulder against Manheim Township about mid-season. So injuries certainly key to Malcolm Williams and the Red Knights last year.
Ty Tomlinson to kick it away for the Red Knights. And we are underway. Kiner from the 5. Looking right up the middle. Out across the 20 and pushes the pile out near the 25. Out comes the Bearcat offense for the first time tonight. We mentioned Malik Jeanneret, their junior quarterback at 6'5", a guy who has a tremendous arm.
And I'll tell you what,
that man, Mr. Kiner, will see a lot too.
And as you take a look at the York High offense,
Brandon Walker also in the backfield with Kiner. Andrew Callum and Robert Richardson are the wideouts. Joe Kennedy, the tight end. Engel, Escobar, Kennedy, Zielinski, and Gould across the front. A big offensive line for the Bearcats. Backs in the eye on first down. Gets it to Kiner, and Kiner going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Number 41, Nick Kubacki in there. One of the guys on the tackle for the Red Knights, and here you get a look at the Reading defense. Lindsey and Cook are the defensive ends. Tim Troy, Francis Camara across the front, along with linebackers Angel Ramos, Travis Wynn, Nick Kubacki, who made that tackle, and Andrew Badillo. 5 linebackers that Reading employs in their defense, Craig. 2 of those kind of act as strong safeties, but a lot of versatility in this Reading defense.
It's a quick defense. They did scrimmage against Harrisburg and Cedar Cliff, so they've seen speed already the last 2 weeks.
Left side and some running room that time for Brandon Walker as Walker gets it out near the 30 for a pickup of 5.
You know, the thing that struck me when we were down on the field, as you take a look at head coach Matt Ortega of the Bearcats, he also in his 4th season here at York, so matching Coach Brown across the way. Overall 17-14 record. But what struck me when we were down the field was I thought York High a lot bigger than Reading.
It seemed that way, yes. So 3rd down and 5. Single back is Walker this time behind Jeanneret. Straight drop, the quick cut pattern, and it's completed and out to the 39, and that's going to be enough for a York High first down. Andre Callum, a 5'11 junior with the catch, and nothing better than getting that first completion of the year, right?
It is, and there's Malik Jeanneret, the 6'4", 205-pound junior quarterback, and you see his numbers on the season last year, and they expect big things out of him now that he has matured, and not only to have him this year, but for Coach Ortega to look forward to next year as well.
So 1st and 10 out to 39. Back to the I formation. Walker, running room, breaks a tackle, trying to get to the outside and brought down right around the midfield stripe. Chad Baldwin, number 8, makes what could have been a touchdown-saving tackle there for the Red Knights, and looks like it's going to be enough for another Bearcat first down.
So York High off to a very good start here, very consistent in moving the chains. Watch this move to the outside. You get a big block right there, and then he cuts to the outside, makes one more person miss. There's where speed counts. Now just on the outside is number 8, Chad Baldwin, to take him down. Otherwise, as you said, Chris, could have been a touchdown.
Kiner now tries the right side this time, and after a couple brought down, Malcolm Williams comes up out of his safety position to make the tackle.
That was a big hit, too. I mean, number 2, Malcolm Williams, is 5'11", 180. He'll probably play on the defensive side of the ball in college.
Williams verbally right now is committed to Temple. You see him in on the tackle there of Kiner. Pickup of a yard on the play. So it's 2nd down and 9 for the Bearcats. Kynard in motion. Boy, and some running room again on that left side. But again, Williams comes up from the secondary and really closes that down. Looked like it had a lot more potential than that, but Williams got there in a hurry, Craig.
Yeah, their speed here early is really a factor in shutting down some of those plays and getting to the point of attack quickly and trying to shut it down before it gets a big gainer.
Well, you know, Matt Ortega told us when we were talking to him before the game, Craig, he said our fullback is going to play a key role tonight, and you can see Walker in this first drive.
Yeah, he talked about several backs. I mean, you talk about Kynard coming in and Jenneret, but what about all these fullbacks that they're so solid for them, including Brandon Walker.
Well, Fredo Martinez into the fullback slot this time, and now sneaks out to the outside and give to Kynard, trying to cut it back, and a flag comes in late. And we'll see what that's all about, but I got a feeling it's not going to be a good story for the Bearcats. And the preliminary signal is holding against York High. And kind of an interesting call here, Craig, because it's Kynard did not get the first down, I don't believe. But I think Reading is still going to take the 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, I think you're always going to take the yardage on that holding call.
On the blue, 10-yard penalty, repeat the 3rd down.
That's Rich Sheeler, your referee tonight. York County crew working this game.
So that marches the ball back to the Bearcat 45. Going to set up about 3rd and 16. Three wide receivers split out here to the near side. Rolling is Jenneret. Gets the shoulder square and intended for Andre Callum, but it's incomplete. Good coverage there by Reading, and looks like York High is going to be forced to punt it away.
So is it the start of every season? There's a first game, there's a first down, there's a first penalty, and now there's a first punt.
First punt, absolutely. I thought Jenneret did a good job on that play, though, Craig, of getting his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage. Delivered a pretty good pass. It was just good coverage by Reading.
And they gave him great protection. He had a back come out to protect him, and he had plenty of time. But you're right, he was very patient in making that throw.
And a low kick. And picked up, and a flag flies as Freddie Pena brought down after receiving the punt from Mike Bullock. And we'll see what the signal is on the flag. Penalties, again, something you don't like, but sort of come to expect in week number 1.
So why you have the preseason games, to find out, do you have everybody at the right position? And are we getting some kind of rhythm? You know, how about Coach Brown talking about in both his scrimmages, especially the first one, just felt like they didn't have any rhythm at all.
Right.
Got a little bit better, but this is just like the first big game and away from scrimmages. So both these teams still looking to find that rhythm that coaches allude to.
Return against the white team, first down.
And you say, well, that's kind of a, generic term. What does that mean? It means paying attention to the quarterback's count, not getting penalties, going on the snap, being careful when you throw a block and how you throw a block.
And I
stay focused.
And I think in football, as in any sport, it's getting a comfort level with where you're at, your teammates, the people that are playing the position next to you, that type of thing. And it doesn't happen overnight, that's for sure. And you can practice 2 days for as long as you want, but you got to get out on the field and square off against another team to really find out. So first down, and Reading goes right into the shotgun with Williams, and he's going to try to get to the outside, and he's not going to get there. Man, penetration, Wilfredo Martinez. And here is the offense for Reading. Williams, the quarterback, Gaston and Tisdale in the backfield, along with Francis Camara. Wideouts are Baldwin and Wagner. The 2 tackles, Demrick Cook and Darryl Pringle. Tim Troy, Thomas Catherman, and Chris Feliciano across the front. You see actually only 1 running back there, 2 slots and 2 wide receivers. So as we mentioned, a wide open offense for both teams. And Reading goes backward on first down as they lose 9 and face a 2nd and 19 with Williams back in the shotgun again. Flips it out there, gets it to an open receiver, and driven out of bounds is Francis Kamara. Mike Keinert on the tackle. Escobar, Gould, Westry. Across the front, the linebacker Sterling Daniels, Wilfredo Martinez, who we've seen already, Brad Engel and Brandon Walker. Free safety Carl Barnes, Andre Collum is the strong safety. Defensive backs Newt Miller and Mike Keinert.
Well, perception is not always reality, Chris, but I remember I said it seemed like Reading was a little small when we were out there. Do you see what their average offensive line is? 262. So good size up front on offense.
And a high snap, and Williams takes it and gets back maybe the line of scrimmage. Brandon Walker with the tackle, and that's going to bring up 4th down for the Red Knights as we tick toward about 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and both teams have had one shot offensively. Bearcats able to pick up a couple first downs. Reading sort of struggling on their first possession.
And the always important kicking game now coming into play. See how they punt.
Boy, low snap. Tomlinson handles it on one hop and gets off a great punt. Hits at the 40, 35, and Connor's going to wisely let it go, and it gets touched at the 31. So,
wow,
not a great snap, but a good job of handling the snap and a great punt by Tomlinson.
Tomlinson, just a 5'10", 150-pound senior, so he's very lanky, but he nailed a 47-yard kick, and that really helps out Reading's defense tremendously.
So the Bearcats will start at their own 32-yard line. Well, one thing we saw in that first series, Craig, was the ability for Brandon Walker to get off this left side of the offensive line and get some good yardage. We'll see if the Bearcats go back to that. Robert Richardson in the slot. Wide out is Callum. And that's right where they're going. Boy, head down and a collision at the 36-yard line. Wow.
That was Williams again.
Williams and Walker, and if there's any doubt about will Williams stick his nose in there, that was answered.
No doubt. No, that was a great hit. I mean, he came up quickly, had no fear, and just laid a lick on
Williams at 5'11", 180. Watch this hit. Walker at 6 foot 215.
Yeah, so you're
talking. This is pretty much of a standoff too.
Yeah, this is about a 35-pound differential here, and watch that hit. Boom, he knocks him backwards, but he took the ball carrier down.
2nd down and 6. Again, Walker. This time trying the right side and pushes it out near the 40. So it's going to make it 3rd and short for the Bearcats.
This will be interesting early on here to see how Coach Ortega and his staff make this call. You can go either run or pass on this and just see where they put the confidence early. It's always kind of a tough call too, right, Chris? It's kind of a tweener call.
Yep.
A long 3.
I would say the way York High is running the football, though, of course, there's only a single back in the backfield, but Walker's been the workhorse so far. And he's going to get it again, and boy, I tell you what, he got hit right at the line of scrimmage, and I think he might have lunged forward far enough to get the 1st down.
Ends on that right foot, left foot mark, right?
Yep.
And there's your indication. They're moving the chains.
So good effort by Walker to get the 1st down. One of the things we want to talk about when we talked about the size of the Reading offensive line, very few times do we get to talk about a pair of 300-pounders on a line for a single team, but the Bearcats have that, and we'll talk about that after this play. So 1st and 10. And the underneath handoff, and some running room on the left side, and trying to get through, and still on his feet, and he's going to go all the way for a Bearcat touchdown. Robert Richardson. We hadn't seen that play tonight at all. Sort of in motion, he gets the handoff from Jenneret, and there was just a small crease, Craig, and he found it.
And do you remember one of our last comments from Coach Ortega tonight? We were talking about Kiner, we were talking about Jenneret, we were talking about a lot of players. He said, number 8 over there, Robert Richardson, he's going to carry the ball too. Don't forget about him. And guess what? He scores the 1st touchdown of the year for the Bearcats. 58 yards. 58 beautiful yards.
And
That
I'll
was
tell
a
you, there was some
magnificent
good
ball.
blocking, but some good running by Richardson, too.
He showed tremendous speed down the sideline. And did you see the defensive back for Reading closing Kamara? He was
yes.
really, there was no way he was going to get there in time, but man, did he make up distance.
Jenneret in to attempt the extra point. And the kick is no good, wide to the right. But York High strikes first on the 58-yard touchdown run by Robert Richardson. And with 4:15 to go here in the first quarter, the Bearcats take the lead. Here you get a look at it again. Here's Richardson in motion.
There's the give. And see, he misdirected there because there's the back, number 32 for York High, who's been so successful, Brandon Walker, going to the right. Now Richardson gets past the linebackers, outruns another defensive player, and now he's going to really, kick it into high gear here into the end zone. And number 5 just a little too late.
We mentioned Richardson really fine and just a little crease, able to turn on the speed and get down the sideline. And good news if you're a Bearcat fan as York High jumps in front.
So a 4-play, minute 54 drive for the Bearcats. And they go on the board first in this ball game, 6-0.
Well, we talked about those pair of 300-pounders on the offensive line for York High. One of those young men we have to talk about is Jamie Escobar at 6'3", 310 pounds. Pretty big, huh?
Yeah, big, but.
But. The other guy that's his teammate on that offensive line, Zach Zielinski at 6'9", 330 pounds.
That's size up front.
That is size up front.
Zach, a transfer from York Catholic, and I think that Coach Ortega and Coach Knowles, who's also a transfer, he's a new coach on the York High staff this year, was the head coach at York Suburban for several years, are very glad to have both those guys lining up in the trenches for the Bearcats.
So Jenneret to kick it away. And handled it by Pena at about the 10. And up the left side and out across the 30-yard line where Reading will take over again. Now the Red Knights trailing 6-0. And we do want to mention the Bearcats, one of the preseason picks for the York Area League in Division I, and a team that, boy, there's a lot of skill position players. And one of the things Matt Ortega told us before the season in reading newspaper articles, looking for that consistency, which pretty much every coach does. So shotgun, new quarterback in the game, Robert Kresge, who was the starting quarterback for most of last season. And Kresge hands off to Fruquan Gaston, 5'9", 170-pound junior. Gaston picks up about 2, so it's going to be 2nd down and 8. And we were told by Coach Victor Brown that we would see both Williams and Kresge out of the quarterback slot tonight.
Just as we were told by Coach Ortega that you'll not only see Jenneret, but you'll also see Jordan Davis. So both coaches giving some different looks and trying some things out.
And trying to get the ball to Williams, and Williams has really no chances. All kinds of penetration by York High. Sterling Daniels, number 21, you see him there, into the backfield.
He did a great job of turning that play in. He was the defensive end. He came across quickly. He was either going to make the tackle or turn it in and let his teammates give him help, but he was in on the tackle. Watch this. He gets across quickly, fights off the initial block, turns the man in. That is perfect defensive play.
And actually makes the tackle, too. So 3rd down and 11 for Reading. And looks like we have a timeout for an equipment problem for a Bearcat player. Kresge again in the shotgun. Has protection. It's breaking down now, and he's going to take off and gets it out near the 40-yard line. A couple of yards shy of the 1st down, so probably Reading's going to punt it away again. comment that Matt Ortega made to us before the game, Craig, about how upbeat he is about his line play this year.
Very happy about that. Let's see if Tomlinson can get off as good a kick as he did the first time.
Another good kick, and Kynard one-hands it at about the 16. A penalty flag on the play, and another flag flies. And Kynard looks like he stepped out of bounds, but there's little pieces of yellow all over the field here on this play.
There was one thrown in the Reading backfield close to the punter. In no way was it roughing the punter. And then there was another one thrown after Kynard took off.
Well, I think there was an illegal block by York High after Kynard received the punt. So
they're kind of sorting
Reading
out.
might have a couple choices here, actually. Rich Sheeler explaining it to the Red Knights, and I think, you know what, I think it's going to actually be tacked on at the line of scrimmage, which might give.
On blue, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Illegal substitution against the Bearcats.
So the guy going off the field.
So that's going to give Reading a first down. Wow, big break for the Red Knights.
On the defense, 5 yards, first down. 5 yards, Danny.
We talked about the optimism for the line play with Coach Ortega, and that's after losing 2 Division I prospects in Greg Gaskins and Richard Muldrow from last year. So definitely some able bodies coming in.
I really think that Matt Ortega has done a great job here. I think he's got the Bearcats turned in the right direction. The community's hungry for a winner. They want the team to be successful. He's done a great job. You know, I looked in the program, and it was very cool. Forget about football for a second. I looked at guys that have gone on to college, and the list got longer each year. That Matt Ortega
first down, 5 yards.
And another telling comment, in my opinion, was the comment that Reading coach Victor Brown made to us for the game, saying, York High's a class act, and that's why we like coming here and playing.
Absolutely.
So another Bearcat penalty. It's going to be 1st and 5. This time Kresge up under center. Boy, I'll tell you what, this York High defense up front is just penetrating into the backfield. There's no room at all. Escobar, 74, Dominic Gould.
You know, when they tried to go to the ends, they found themselves contained there. When they try to run between the tackles, the defensive linemen are just doing a great job of neutralizing Reading's line and just shutting down the running game.
So a loss of a couple, 2nd down and about 7.
Reading thus far content to keep it on the ground.
Slant pattern and up in the air, and almost picked off as Carl Barnes had a gift slip through his hands.
Pretty good coverage, but sometimes you're just not quite ready for that, or it's almost too easy. It's really floating. It's catchable. And maybe the receiver rolling underneath him just distracted him enough.
So 3rd down and 7. And Kresge moves back into the shotgun. Blitz coming. Kresge gets out of there. Still on his feet and dragged down from behind. I'll tell you what, Sterling Daniels, out of his strong safety position, he started on the left side of the line. I saw him come into blitz. He chased Kresge the whole way across the field and ended up making the tackle.
He is really quick, and I mean his defensive coverage sideline to sideline is superb.
Great effort by Daniels.
Tomlinson getting a lot of action here in this first quarter. His 3rd punt.
And blocked by the Bearcats and picked up, and York High's going to have it at the Reading 35-yard line. Harold Beatty picks up the block punt, and the Bearcats with great field position again as we have 38 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and York High already leading it 6-0. 85, Anderson Henry, 6'1" junior, makes the block. Harold Beatty makes the recovery, and the Bearcats are in business at the Reading 36. Jordan Davis in there at quarterback for York High, as we mentioned. Boy, and this time good penetration by the Reading defense as Walker can't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, look at all the white jerseys around Brandon Walker.
Remember, Coach, we can go on third down, Coach. We can go on third down, Coach.
You see we're down to 15 seconds and counting.
And I think the clock's going to run out on this first quarter without another snap.
And you are right, Mr. Smith. That is the end of the first quarter here from Smalls Athletic Field. A big run by Robert Richardson has the Bearcats in front after one, 6-0.
How do I speed up a passport application? For a trip I'm taking.
Don't bring your government questions to just anyone. Go to the official source, firstgov.gov, from local weather to student loans.
You could really use some people skills.
Hey, how do I get in on a government auction? You know, like for a car?
Go to firstgov.gov, from changing your address to government auctions to renewing your driver's license.
And don't everybody chime in at once.
What's early retirement going to do to my Social Security? Hello?
Firstgov.gov. From Social Security to Medicare, it's a monumental source of information about federal, state, and local government.
You did work for the government, right?
Varsity Sports Zone coverage of high school football. The Bearcats leading it after one, 6-0, and good field position. A 2nd down and 10 to start quarter number 2.
After this play, we'll give you some statistics on the first quarter from both teams.
Jordan Davis under center for York High. The Red Knights back out of the blitz. Davis running the option, eludes one tackler, and is brought down. Good penetration that time. Nick Kubacki, number 41, makes the tackle of Jordan Davis.
Coming into this quarter, York High rushed the ball 10 times for 91 yards, 1 of 2 passing for 9 yards, 100 total yards, 4 first downs. Reading, 7 rushes for 2 yards, 1 of 2 passing for 9 yards, 11 total yards against that pretty stingy York High defense, 1 first down for the Red Knights. Time of possession slightly in favor of York High by about a minute.
3rd down and 12 is all of a sudden on the blocked punt. Now the Reading defense becomes stingy, and we'll see what York High does on 3rd and long. Walker, the lone back, showing blitz this time, and York High picks it up. Davis has some time and now runs out of time. Intended for Callum. And Davis hit as he throws by Demetrius Lindsay, number 52. And the incompletion will set up 4th down. Tell you, this is a big sequence for the Reading defense, because down 6, York High gets the big break, and Reading really stands tall here defensively.
Absolutely, they did a great job. Put a lot of pressure on Davis, didn't allow him to get to the outside. Made it impossible for him to get that pass off on 3rd down, and now forcing the punt.
Mike Bullock to punt for York High. Good snap this time. Bullock. A low kick, and Pena is going to take it on the run at the 7 and is tackled immediately. Carl Barnes on the tackle for York High. So Reading going to start. It's a pretty tough field position at about their own 8-yard line.
Well, sports is really in the air tonight, Chris Bupp. If we look to the south, it's the first time ever the York Revolution game is being played at the same time as a high school football game here. So A lot of activity in downtown York tonight, and it's great to see as you look on at many of the York High fans that are out supporting their team here on the first official night of the high school football season 2007.
So Kresge's back in there at quarterback for the Red Knights.
Let's go, Newt. Watch it, Newt. Watch it, Newt.
Second back in a big hole. Look out. And still on his feet and out across the 30-yard line is Fruquan Gaston. And I'll tell you what, that was the first big hole that Reading offensive line opened up tonight.
And he took advantage of it. Quick feet, really quick to the hole. And so Fruquan Gaston, his excellent run.
About 24 yards on the run by Gaston. Here you look at it. Boy, look at the blocking right at the line of scrimmage.
Gets that cross block in there. I'll tell you what, that's a real, again, you talked about the defensive stand after the block punt. That's a big offensive play to kick off this drive.
Absolutely. So 1st and 10 out to the 32, and whistles and penalty flags prior to the snap. Nope. A timeout prior to the snap called by the Bearcats, their first.
Something that the York High staff saw that they didn't like. So right before the ball was snapped, Coach Ortega calling the timeout.
You know, and another comment that Coach Victor Brown made to us before the game was we were talking about Reading football in general and the fact that they had a rough season last year, 2-8, but he likes this kind of exhibition game. 2 city schools, old rivals from the Central Penn League, and he's really trying to create some excitement in Reading again for high school football.
And I think that's great, and I think Matt Ortega's doing the same thing here. He went out and scheduled Reading, Harrisburg, McCaskey. They're all old Central Penn rivalries, and there's a lot of traditionalists around here that remember that league and how tough it was, and those teams have split up a lot of times. And there you see just to the south of us, or as we look at the football field to the right of us, is the lights of the Sovereign Bank Stadium, which is the home of the York Revolution, who started play this year in the Atlantic League, and they are at home again tonight for a weekend stand. Beautiful stadium.
I have not attended yet, but hope to very shortly.
Opening night, and I'm telling you, they put together just a wonderful introduction of the team and involved the whole community in that.
So 1st down, Kresge trying to get it out to Williams. Williams makes a break. Oh, look at the moves, Craig, and out near the 40-yard line. That play looked like it had nothing written all over it, and Williams makes about 8.
And it's really good that Williams made that catch, because I'm not sure that wasn't a lateral. And Williams, you're right, I had no idea how he was going to get out of this, because the defense was closing fast, but his initial move to elude the defense, watch this, he'll elude the first tackler right there, the cut, and now he gets a block upfield and gets a good gain out of it.
Second back and trying to get to the corner, and not being able to get out there is Gaston. Number 6, Carl Barnes, comes up and makes the tackle for the Bearcats. And what I sense from Reading at this point is there's not that rhythm yet, is it?
Not
one
quite.
good play, one
okay play,
yeah. So now they're faced with about a 3rd and 3 after the loss of 1 on the 2nd down. Interesting call here for Coach Victor Brown. Kresge looking across the middle, and Brandon Walker read it perfectly and just knocked it down on the slant pattern intended for Williams, and it's going to be 4th down.
So Tomlinson getting a lot of airtime here, having to punt one more time, and here again the drop by Walker, very well read. He saw Williams on the slant. They know that that's probably going to be their favorite go-to guy, favorite receiver, when he split out, and they were able to break it up.
Good snap this time, Tomlinson.
Another good kick.
Yep, good kick, and on the run is Kynard at the 32, up the sideline and out to about the 44, and nice job that time by Mike Kynard to get absolutely as much as he could.
Right, because that kick had good hang time, and the advantage to Reading was they had the sideline working for him. So it was a good kick in that it was high and it was close to the sideline.
Bearcats will have pretty good starting position at their own 44-yard line. 9:02 to go here in quarter number 2, and you see the Bearcats with that 6-0 lead over the Red Knights of Reading.
So York has had the one big play, and they've moved the change a few times, but they have not been all that consistent as well.
Jenneret flushed out of the pocket. Now trying to get to the outside. Boy, and good pursuit by Reading as Chad Baldwin, number 8, one of the guys in on the tackle. And we talk about the speed of York High. Reading has some speed on that defensive unit as well.
Good hit, I think also number 6, Angel Ramos, was involved as well. Forced him out of the pocket. Now, watch this. He's going to try to get some yardage and make a bad play into a good play, but he's really cornered on the sideline. Here's the big hit from number 6, Ramos, and then with the help from number 41.
Let's go, Bearcats!
2nd down and 10 for York High. Fake underneath, handoff to Kynard, and Walker, the fullback, gets the carry. And once again, boy, number 41, Kabacki, we're calling his name quite a bit. Nick Kabacki, just 5'7", 165.
He's playing a lot bigger and
only a 10th grader. And we've seen him on a number of tackles.
I tell you, when you see at this level a 10th grader starting on either side of the football, you know that he's a quality player now.
Absolutely. So 3rd down and 9. All of a sudden, Craig, this Reading defense has really gotten tough, and the Bearcats are struggling to move the football.
They've done a great job after that score of really shutting things down. After that block punt, they seem to gain momentum from that.
And the completion out to Richardson again, but Malcolm Williams there to make the tackle. It's going to be about a yard shy, and it's into Reading territory, so interesting decision here, Craig, on 4th and a yard. I think you probably go, if I'm Coach Ortega and I'm going to decide to go for it, I'm giving it to Walker off the left side. And I think he is going to go for it.
Well, I think he's pleased enough with his defense at this point that if they don't make it, he's going to feel okay. But it's a little risky here because of the way the Reading defense has been playing, which is very well.
Kynard split out to that left side. See if the ball goes that way. Nope, Jenneret's going to do it himself. Ooh. And I'll tell you what.
I don't think so. It's going to depend on this spot, but unless the last effort got it, I think Reading stopped him, but we'll probably get a measurement out of this. It's too close, I think.
Well, the line judge on the far side gave what I would consider to be a pretty favorable spot for York High. And it's still going to be close.
It is. I'm going to say it's going to be short by about an inch. And it's just for the fun of doing it in the early season here.
Defense, just in case. Be ready. We in there on 1st down.
And it is enough for a Bearcat 1st down.
About half of football.
Yep.
That's it. Well, they went with a 6'4" quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Just keep the ball and
say
lunge
hopefully
forward.
It just falls forward, right?
Yeah, behind a big offensive line. So safe call, successful call.
When you got Zach Zielinski at 6'9", 330 as the left guard, that's kind of where you go, I think.
I think it's a pretty good envoy to take you there. Convoy.
So 1st and 10 at the Reading 46. Kynard back into the I formation. And there was a little mix-up, I could tell, and Kynard wasn't sure, and all of a sudden the Bearcats got to burn their 2nd timeout. Doesn't make that man happy. You know, one of the things that we've seen, Craig, and partner over the 18, 19 years that we've been covering high school sports is is sort of the, I don't know if I want to call it the evolution of York Area League football, and how the league has really improved to the point now where, you know, our league can schedule Reddings and the McCaskies and maybe not compete every night, but certainly much more competitive than we were years ago.
Absolutely, and I credit that to coaches coming along that didn't have the fear of going out and scheduling outside the league and scheduling classes above them. I think the district and state playoffs played into that, because if you schedule tougher teams, you're going to have a chance to earn more points and what have you. But I still think the willingness to venture to Dauphin County, to Lancaster County, to Berks County, to Dauphin County to play these big schools and schools outside it has been very, very important.
And we a lot of times give credit to Don Seidenstricker at Southwestern as one of the guys who was really the first one to do that. But York High's done that for a long time. And there's a lot of schools in the York Area League now that are scheduling those tough out-of-league opponents and gaining valuable experience, as are the Bearcats here tonight. And Walker trying the right side down to maybe the 44, pickup of about 2. And you look at a team like Southwestern in the District 3 championship game last year. They had a really rough preseason schedule, and a lot of times those games are extremely difficult, but in the end they do pay off. So 2nd down and 8. Boy, Redding really moving around defensively. 2nd back, Kynard makes a cut, look out! 30, still on his feet, 20. Wow, and Mike Kynard down to the 13-yard line. I was just getting ready to say, York High hasn't really tried the outside too much here recently, and boy, all of a sudden, Kynard just a bolt of lightning to the corner.
31 yards for Kynard. He had a nice escort, number 74, Jamie Escobar. Just took him right on down the field. Watch his blocking. Watch number 74 pull, and that's going to be the escort. Also number 51 for the Bearcats, Brad Engel, 6'3", 230. And those two guys are going to take him down the field.
Jenneret keeps and gets down near the 10. The funny part about the replay was Escobar didn't really have anybody to block. I mean, he was leading the way, but there was no white jerseys to put a pad on.
Well, it's like the Secret Service. You know, I mean, they don't always have to touch somebody,
right? But
they keep people away.
That's true. So 2nd down and 8 for York High. Clock ticking toward the 5-minute mark to go here in the first half. This would be a big score for the Bearcats if they could get into the end zone. Jenneret keeps. Boy, and he's getting pressure and is going to get brought down back around the 15-yard line. Again, penetration. I believe Angel Ramos again. Nope, I'm sorry, it's number 5 this time. It's Francis Camara, along with 52 Demetrius Lindsay, to bring down Jenneret.
Plenty of time here for both teams. 4:30, just under 4:30 to go in the first half.
So York High faced with a 3rd and 12. And again, York High calling their third and final timeout of the first half. But you know what? When you get to this point, you got 4:15 to go in the half, and you're in this kind of field position, you want to make sure you're doing the right thing.
Exactly. This is a huge play. Because what you get on this next play is obviously going to determine what you're going to do and execute on 4th down, because clearly you're going to go for it. Your kicking game is not strong enough. Here's the Kynard run one more time. There's Escobar, 74 out front, Engel 51. Engel gets a block right
Escobar
there.
kind of like said, Engel, you get him, and I'll take the next guy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Mike Kynard a little quicker than Mr. Escobar.
Yeah,
he just ran right by him.
He said, you know, I'm going to have to pull away from you now. And he went to the passing lane and got a real nice gain out of it, 31 yards. But now they've been moving backwards and got to turn that tide if they want to score, because as I was saying, Chris, their kicking game is not strong. And without that, you can't think field goal here. You got to think 2-down territory.
They had great success with that underneath handoff to Kynard in the first quarter, so maybe that's something. Richardson's another guy we saw make the big run and score the only touchdown of this first half. Jeanneret rolling to his left, stops, turn in the corner, and he's going to get smashed. Penalty flag on the play. Andrew Badillo flattened Malik Jeanneret, and an illegal procedure penalty against York High. Do you take this one, Craig? Or it brings up 4th down.
Penalty is declined. 4th down.
I think that's a good thing to do, because the way this defense is playing, they know they're not going to be able to kick a field goal. And so now they got him at the 20. And I think the percentages are very much in favor of the Reading defense.
Well, the key to something like this, Craig, Reading's been able to get pressure on Jeanneret and hasn't given Malik enough time to really stay in the pocket and look for a receiver. Kynard in motion, he's going to get the pitch, and oh man, what a hit by Francis Camara. Man, was that an exclamation point.
Wow, that was the best tackle of the game. I mean, he just squared up and annihilated him. He's 5'8", 185, and it was his quickness that got him to the tackle. Watch this. It's a toss. The ball hangs a little bit, but there you go. I mean, that's textbook.
And Walker, the fullback, he didn't even see Camara. He was moving.
He saw a white blur with a little bit of red on it, but that was it. That was just a great defensive play.
So Reading takes over. Kresge again back in there at quarterback. Williams in motion and movement. And as always, the offense points at the defense points at the offense. And the guys in the striped shirt will figure it out.
Now, 5 yards.
Got to go against the Bearcats.
York High moved on the man in motion. They saw that movement, but it was a man in motion legally for Reading, and they jumped. I'll tell you, after the Kynard 31-yard run, the offensive line disappointed. They just didn't block well in that sequence.
So 1st and 5 for Reading. Williams in motion. They fake the underneath handoff and give it up the middle and across the 40, and enough for a 1st down with Fruquan Gaston. That play, no doubt about it, Malcolm Williams, the decoy, in motion, and Gaston gets the carry and gets a Reading 1st down. There you see Williams in motion.
Fakes it to the
defense
belly.
Has got to be moving that way, right?
Yep, and here he comes back against the grain. Good blocking. Nice block there from big number 76 for Reading. Daryl Pringle, 6'4", 330. Time on the clock, 3:21 to go in the first half. For plenty of time for Reading to get a drive together. You know they'd love to have a score here in the first half, Chris. They don't want to go in with the same score as the final last year.
Play action and down the sideline, and an open receiver is Camara, and he's down to the York High 41, and a flag flies there, and I got a feeling that's going to be that might be a face mask.
I felt initially it was a face mask. It'll be a question of whether they throw another flag on the ensuing entanglement there, but I think it is definitely going to be a face mask.
Kresge with a nice throw there, and Camara with the catch.
Boy, he's been instrumental in both getting this drive started and moving the chains.
Yep.
Tackle, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So it was unintentional face mask. Occurred while trying to make the tackle. Right there.
Yep.
So not intentional, not where you endanger the player by jerking the neck around, but still 5 more yards tacked on, moved the chains, stopped the clock. So a lot of good things happened for Reading on that play.
1st and 10 at the Bearcat 37. Underneath handoff, Kamara. Yard maybe. Angle 51. 85. Anderson Henry. Escobar. A bunch of blue jerseys in there on that tackle. 2.5 minutes to go.
You might as well pull a lot of extra in case you go to the end zone.
I think you're going to be riding the arm of Kresge here, Craig. I don't think that Reading can.
The clock's not going to allow them to just run the football.
I don't believe the Red Knights have used any timeouts in this first half, so they should have all 3 remaining. Straight drop, Kresge looking, Daniels chasing him. Kresge looking to get a block and gets out of bounds, and a good job that time by Robert Kresge. Again, buying as much time as possible and getting some yardage.
And getting out of bounds, which was a smart play, but he was in trouble from the get-go there. There was pressure from his right side, which forced him to run to the left. And for a right-handed quarterback on the run with 4 blue shirts chasing him, that's pretty much disaster. And he made, I think, as good a play out of that as you possibly can.
I agree.
Got as much yardage as he could and got the ball out of bounds. So an even 2 minutes to go in the first half. York High up by 6. 6-0 in the first half.
But Reading on the move. 3rd down and 5 at the Bearcat 32. Here comes pressure. Reading picks it up and through the hands. I'll tell you what, a good throw that time by Kresge. Corey Baldwin, I'm sure if you would ask him, he knows he should have had that one.
Catchable.
I got to tell you, that was a bullet thrown by Kresge.
Very well thrown. It was thrown, right to the numbers. Little high, but not that high.
So 4th down, and obviously in the field position situation, Reading's going to go for it. Interesting to see if York High tries to blitz here, because Kresge's been getting some pretty good time with that offensive line the last couple plays. Some time again. Kresge running out of time, puts his head down, and he's not going to get to the 1st down marker. And York High is going to take over. So Reading kind of dodged a bullet when York High blocked the punt and had great field position. And their last time down, they got inside of the 15. This time the Bearcats defense stiffens, and now the Bearcats take over with just 1:49 to go. And we say a nice evening. You can see 2 Bearcats kneeling on the side. A nice evening for us, but put on a set of pads and a helmet, and it's still a little warm out there.
But the humidity's way down. That's a good thing.
Right.
Down around 50%. And that makes it a lot more bearable. It's been a pretty good 2 weeks for these kids, practice-wise. It hasn't been too bad, the weather.
Walker left side, breaking those arm tackles and gets out across the 35. Good gain on 1st down. The Bearcats without any timeouts. And it doesn't look like York High is in too much of a hurry. I wouldn't be surprised if Jenneret tries to put it in the air a couple times here, but I'd say if you were grading the consistency scale here in this first half for both teams, average, right?
Average, yeah. I was going to say on a 10-point scale, 5 for each team. They've done some really good things, which is expected in week 1.
Right.
By any team at any level. High school, college, pro, you're going to do a lot of good things, and you're going to do some not so good things.
Boy, Walker running hard, I'll tell you. Out across the 45 and has a 1st down.
Moved the chains, though, so at least with 1 minute and 1 second to go, no timeouts, but they're able to get at least a pause in the action here to get a play in.
Watch the work by Walker here,
yeah,
Craig.
he doesn't stop. He's got one guy on, went through 2, and now he barrels over the final tackler, so that gets him an extra 3 yards. So an excellent run that time by Walker. They had almost 100 yards rushing in the first quarter, which was off to a great start for the Bearcats. It'll be interesting to see the halftime statistics.
Jenneret, straight drop, flips it out, and dropped.
And a flag way away from the ball.
very late and away from the ball.
Right in front of the York High bench. So this will be an interesting call. Was the preliminary sign illegal receiver downfield?
Yeah, an eligible receiver, I think.
I think you'll see a kneel now.
Field, it's a 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
35.3 seconds to go, and York High probably.
I don't see him risking anything here, but you never know. But it seems like they may just take a knee and go in and regroup at halftime.
So both wide receivers split out here to the near side. And give it to Kiner, and Kiner just a yard or two, and that's about it. And
York had 6 penalties for 35 yards in this first half. Reading 1 for 10 yards. And for York, they've come at inopportune times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember the one that gave Reading that first down?
Yep.
Illegal substitution.
And York High's going to have to hurry to get off this play. And they don't get it off. So that'll bring us to the end of the first half of action here from Smalls Athletic Field. Well, that Robert Richardson touchdown run of 58 yards in the first quarter holds up, and the Bearcats go into the locker room leading the Red Knights 6-0.
Moving is so much of who we are. It's easy to take it for granted. Multiple sclerosis stops people from moving. We exist to make sure it doesn't. The National Multiple Sclerosis Society is a collective of passionate individuals united by a common goal to address the challenges of each person whose life is affected by MS. We believe that moving is not just something you can or can't do, but rather is who you are. That if you are alive, you move along with, because of, and in spite of the great big turning world. Join the movement, the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, at nationalmssociety.org.
Halftime at Smalls Athletic Field, the Bearcats lead the Reading Red Knights 6-0, and we always like to learn a little bit about some of our neighbors from outside of the area coming into the York Area League and playing the local teams, and we had a chance to learn a little bit about the Reading Red Knights and their football program and their head coach, Victor Brown.
We got a couple options. If we find out we're getting dinged a lot with stuff, okay, we got the Mayday call here. Go line up, show your blitz,
You know, this year the kids have done a good job off season, getting in the weight room and committing more to our off season program, and I think that's paid off for us. You know, we got some kids who were tested at a team competition in the spring, and the kids did very well there. And I think that was a testament to their hard work and dedication in the weight room this off season. But you know, we're looking to get the season started and you know, try to erase that and forget about the past.
Break down the receivers. What's out, Ray? Break down receivers.
Oh, I love these guys.
You engage and we don't punt it. You hear the boom. He's gonna release now. Release. Boom. Just say you're right there already with him. You're already with him. Take him wherever he wants to go, drive him out. Okay? Here we go.
Keep on coming until you see that ball punted and pick up your guy and try to wedge him some way, okay? Outside preferably. All right, put him outside. Here we go.
Malcolm's a tremendous athlete. He has verbally committed to play at Temple University next football season. Malcolm, unfortunately, was injured most of last year, and that really hurt us as a football team. But this year, he's one of the ones that's worked hard in the weight room, really focused on rehabbing his injuries. He's looking to bounce back strong this season. He's a great athlete.
That fair catch ball. You have to make the judgment on a fair catch. If you got to run all the way over here and 20 yards up, okay, then you probably would. Your best bet is the fair catcher. Okay, if you know, because it's only 20 yards. If you have to run 20 yards up, they only have to run 20 yards down. I'll take the 20 yards. That's what it's done. All right, understand?
We're just taking it one week at a time, and every game's important, and every game's tough. We can't look past people. Right now, the only team we're worried about is York. Well, we know we really got to prepare and work against the blitz, because they're very aggressive defensively. They're going to bring pressure from all different areas of their defense. They're playing a 3-3 stack, and they're showing the even front in their last scrimmage, and they're very aggressive in their style. So we got to prepare to control the blitz.
What makes something amazing? Is it doing something that has never been done before? Is it doing what people once believed impossible? Or is amazing something you become? We believe in doing the amazing, in dominating air, space, and cyberspace, in inventing technology to save lives, in doing the unimaginable. But our most amazing accomplishment isn't what we've done. It's who we've become.
Welcome back to the Meadow. Chris Bupp along with broadcast partner Craig Smith. And we'd like to thank head coach Victor Brown, his staff, and the entire Reading football team for that nice little segment at halftime. And I think it goes without saying, but high school football today certainly isn't just about the 10 Friday nights in the fall.
No, it really isn't, Chris. It's a lot of hard work throughout the years. We take now a look at the only score of the first half, and you'll see the man in motion. He's going to be the main man on this. Number 8, Robert Richardson, a 6'2", 205-pound running back, takes the ball in motion, able to turn the corner. Now, once he does that, he outruns two guys, gets a good downfield block, which helps spring him, and now he's going to be able to outrun number 41 for Reading. That's a really solid linebacker, Nick Kubacki. And now he's going to be all the way into the end zone on his speed, but you got to credit the guy chasing from the safety spot, really getting a chance to maybe get there, Francis Kamara, but he didn't get there, and there's your only 6 points of the first half.
And when you look at the halftime stats, well, the rushing attack for York High is really what stands out.
Yeah, but they're inside those numbers, Chris. It's a little deceptive because in the first quarter they had over 90 yards. So clearly the Reading defense slowed them down. The problem is on the other side of the ball for Reading, where they only have 41 yards rushing, 34 passing, 75 total yards. So the Bearcats dominant there, dominant in first downs. And look at the time of possession. And yet, I don't think if you don't look at that number, it seemed like it was about 50-50 to me, but a clear edge there for the Bearcats. Penalties I thought really hurt York High. Those six penalties for 35 yards really, I think, at inopportune times caused Reading to have the ball a little bit longer than maybe they should have. But here was another opportunity for the Bearcats in the second quarter. Kiner takes the ball, gets a good block on the corner by number 51 for the Bearcats, Brad Engel, and then gets Escobar to escort him. He outruns Escobar and gets down inside the Territory real chance to score here, and then the Reading defense went to work and really stiffened on the Bearcats and really made it tough for them and actually threw them back, caused some losses, and the Bearcats never did recover and get points on the board. So we ended up at a 6-0 halftime score in favor of York High.
And I think at times in that first half, Craig, the York High offense showed some spark, more so than the Reading offense. I thought both defenses at times played extremely well. Individually in the first half for York, well, the lone touchdown we mentioned, Robert Richardson, 51 yards. He also had a pass catch for 6 yards. Brandon Walker really doing a nice job out of the fullback slot, 9 carries, 50 yards. Kiner, 6 carries for 27 yards. Gaston, the leading ball carrier for Reading, 4 carries and 35 yards. So you see the Reading marching band out on the field. We will take another break and get you set for second half action with York High in front, 6-0.
Drivers face all kinds of distractions.
Guys, stop playing now. 127 consecutive.
Before your wireless phone becomes one of them, stop. Drive safely. Keep your phone in easy reach and dial sensibly. In bad weather or traffic, call later and use a hands-free device. Remember, with wireless, safety is your call.
Welcome back to Smalls Athletic Field. The Bearcats in the lead 6-0, and Chris Pup along with Craig Smith and statisticians Gary Miller and Bo Rule. And a first half that just, we talked about rhythm. Wasn't a whole lot to that first half in terms of rhythm. And if you're Coach Matt Ortega, you probably went into this game thinking Malcolm Williams, that's the guy we got to stop. His stats in the first half, 4 carries, minus 14 yards. Mission accomplished.
Yes, which is why Reading at this point has no points on the board. Conversely, I thought Reading's defense really solidified late in the first quarter after the touchdown run and did a very good job in the second quarter when they were threatened. So hard to get a gauge or reading on this game.
And the kickoff from Jenneret down to the 24-yard line where Reading will take over. Jason Stewart takes care of that. And the Red Knights will start with the ball here in quarter number 3.
And Chris, at halftime we talked about the disparity in time of possession, but Bo Rule points out to me, and I think rightfully so, that York High had one drive of 5 minutes and 38 seconds, 10 plays, came up empty. So that gave them a real plus there in gaining that advantage in time of possession, but it didn't necessarily translate into points.
Right, and interestingly here now, single back with Kresge in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers, and going right at the middle. And Kamara with the carry, and we saw Kamara primarily in the wideout position in the first half, gets the first carry out of the backfield to start quarter number 3 and picks up 4. So Victor Brown trying some different things here. I saw Malcolm Williams was in the slot on that last set. Pretty similar looking set here on 2nd and 6. Kresge flips it out, has a receiver, and out across the 30-yard line. And a short gain for Reading as number 85, Alex Wagner, 6'1", 175-pound junior, makes the catch. Picks up a couple, and it's going to be third and a long 3.
Good throw that time by Kresge. Good strong arm to get it out there.
A long throw, really across the field. Wagner picks up 3. Sort of a big play very early in this third quarter for the psyche of this Reading team. They really kind of need a first down here. And they're going to give it to Kamara, and boy, it wasn't because of a lack of effort from number 5, but York High's defense, again, there at the challenge.
But it's gonna force Tomlinson back on the field. I don't think this is a first down. I think it's short.
Yeah, it looks to me like it's short and not even a measurement. So decision time for Victor Brown. I'll tell you what, I don't see the punt team coming out on the field, Craig.
It's way too early in a 6-0 game, you would think.
I think we're going to see a timeout here because he's over talking with Kresge. You know what? He's sending him back out. Wow.
Unless, what if they have the quick kick in their arsenal?
Well, and the other thing that's happened is York High, a lot of penalties in that first half. Maybe they're going to try to draw them offside here.
Count. Good point.
It's taken a long time, and the back judge finally throws the flag, which is going to mean a delay.
So that takes away the strategy of the long count.
Right, and I think it was a lot of discussion going on the Reading sideline as to whether or not to go for that one, and it's going to end up costing them the opportunity.
Well, Tomlinson has shown that he is a solid punter. I think he kicked 4 times in that first half.
That penalty may have been a blessing in disguise, Craig.
Another good kick.
Yep, good kick, but Kiner's going to have a lot of room. 36, 45, has a block, cross midfield. Boy, you got to get about 4 or 5 white jerseys around that guy.
Very elusive. When I said good kick, it was a good long kick, not as high as some of his earlier ones, and it made it a little tough to cover, and Kiner got a good gain out of it to start the first possession of the second half for the Bearcats.
York High's going to start at the Reading 44-yard line, so outstanding field position. You just got to believe the way things are going. Another score by the Bearcats is going to make it really difficult for Reading. Jordan Davis back in there at quarterback for York High to start the second half. Pitch to Richardson, fumbles the football, still loose. And I think Reading has it. And the pitch was way behind Richardson. Richardson really, Craig, I think instead of trying to actually bring the football in, sort of tried to one-hand it and keep running, and it's going to cost York High as Reading gets the turnover.
There's the pitch behind the runner, and that makes it really tough because you got to concentrate on getting the football, and the defense is closing in on you quickly. And then the mad scramble, anything can happen, and this time it goes to the white shirts.
So Reading takes over at the 46. Much better field position for the Red Knights, and the slant pattern to Malcolm Williams is complete across the midfield stripe, a pickup of about 6. I like the way Kresge throws the football, Craig.
I think he throws it with a lot of poise and confidence, and you can see what the dimension's going to be. When Kresge's in the game, obviously you have to respect the pass. I'm not saying that Williams can't throw, but he's not by nature, he didn't grow up as a quarterback. He's been converted to quarterback to take advantage of his skills. So it gives him different dimensions when either one are behind the center.
And there's Williams trying to lunge forward toward that first down marker. And it's going to be very close, but now all of a sudden Reading able to get the ball into the hands of Malcolm Williams 2 plays in a row. And again, last year with the injury to Williams, it really kind of forced Kresge into that starting quarterback spot. Only completed 34 passes, but you take Williams as one of your primary targets away from out of the picture, and it makes things a lot more difficult. Third and a little, Kamara's going to get that and more down near the 40.
You know, as impressive as Williams is with his speed, I think Kamara is very impressive with his strength and his hitting ability.
Toughness.
Yeah, toughness. Just either side of the football, when he's playing defense or when he's running the football.
And you see him listed at 5'8", 185, but boy, he doesn't come down easy at all.
He's a real solid package. I really like him as a player.
So Reading with the first down to the Bearcat 40.
He's the kind of guy you want to go in the trenches with. You just feel like he's going to grit it out.
And that one overshot by Kresge. The other thing about a guy like Kamara is the type of guy, and I don't know exactly about him, but might be the kind of guy that gets stronger as the game goes on too, you know, and is the guy who can really make some big plays for you maybe in the fourth quarter when you need him. So second down and 10. And I think York High's feeling a little shift in momentum here. Reading's starting to feel pretty good about themselves after the turnover. York High's defense, as it has done all night, needs to step up here. Oh, nice fake, and I'll tell you again, Williams was the decoy. A great job by Kresge. And Baldwin, second time tonight, he had it in his hands. And it was funny. He faked the out pattern to Williams, and you saw the entire York defense go that way.
It was a well-conceived play. It was a play that you just thought was going to succeed. And as you alluded to, that is the second time tonight that Kresge was robbed of a completion.
Yep. And I'll tell you, if that ball's thrown on the money, that's a touchdown because there was nobody.
Had the inside position on the defense, absolutely.
So third down and 10. Kresge being chased, Walker after him, Allen after him, and he gets rid of it wisely. And that's going to bring up fourth down. And just as I mentioned, Reading getting a little momentum. York High's defense steps up again. Well, isn't the common phrase at the beginning of the season that defenses are ahead of the offenses? Pretty evident here tonight, I think.
It is.
A lot more timing and coordination with the offensive sets, and especially in the passing game. So fourth down and 10, Reading's going to go for it. Kresge flips it out to Kamara on the screen. And boy, York High did a great job. I didn't catch the numbers, but there was about 3 Bearcat defenders, and a late flag comes in.
Wow. That
just held the play up perfectly. Here you get a look at it. Let's see if we can see who it is. You see number 44 there. That's Andre Westry chasing. Engels out there, Walker's out there. There you see number 6, Carl Barnes, coming into the picture as well.
5-yard penalty, fourth down.
Another unintentional face mask.
Yep, the Bearcats guilty of another penalty. Going to give Reading another chance here. Now it's going to be 4th and 5. Boy, that one's a real tough one for York High because they had Kamara boxed in. He was in no way going to get the first down.
That's the second time tonight that it should be their football, and it's not going to be.
Right.
Timeout called by the Bearcats.
And York High is going to call a timeout, and that man, Victor Brown, needs to come up with a 4th down and 5 play that can get the first down and keep this drive alive. There you see Brandon Walker taking a well-deserved seat. He's been out there almost all night for the So York High, one of the preseason favorites we talked about here in the York Area League in Division I. Central York, another one there you see probably a cramp working on Walker. So you say York High, Central you hear about, Southwestern you always hear about. New Oxford, Matt Muller this summer, pretty optimistic about his team. Spring Grove, Greg Trone, cautiously optimistic, you know. It's going to be a good season. Well, next week here on Comcast, we travel over to Dick May Field on the campus of York Suburban High School. The Hanover Nighthawks take on the York Suburban Trojans.
That would be an all orange and black contest.
Yes.
So we get a chance to look at that new synthetic turf. They put the same field in that they have here at York High and over at Central York.
And the slant pattern to Williams is a catch and a first down. And where York High didn't get hurt by that costly penalty in the first half on fourth down, this time at least Reading completes the pass, gets the first down, and keeps the drive alive. So York High playing with fire here a little bit.
I'd say they're playing with fire a lot right now.
Yeah.
It's just because I agree with you. It looks to me like Reading is now getting confidence on offense to not only run the ball but throw the ball.
High snap, and Kresge trying to get to the outside, and boy, breaks some tackles. Kresge has some pretty good speed, Craig.
You know, when he's got to make up for something that goes wrong on a play, he has been getting only positive yardage and making the right mental decision as well. He, you know, when he had to get out of bounds in the first half with time running down, he got out of bounds. Here, when he realizes the tackler slid off of him, he goes for more yardage, puts his head down. So I'm very impressed by his play tonight at quarterback.
So a pickup of about 6 on the busted play, second down and short. And boy, I'll tell you what, I didn't think he was going to get out of that one. Daniels was there, Westry was there. 85, another guy we've called his number a lot, Anderson Henry. Kresge really had no chance on that one. I really thought on 2nd and 4 we might see Kamara get the carry that time, because York High really kind of selling out and just trying to get pressure and get into the backfield. Sometimes I think a quick hitter might be an effective tool here for Reading. But not now on 3rd and 12. Faking, going to the corner of the end zone. A flag is down, and it's intercepted in the end zone. And York High better just down it.
No, it's too late now. They're trying to get.
Yep. Once they
get out of the end zone.
Once they go down, but there was a flag along the sideline here, and I'll tell you what, I think York High is going to get burned again. I think it's going to be defensive holding. We'll see.
Against the white.
It's against the Red Knights, an ineligible man downfield, and
where it was thrown, that's what I thought happened, because the receiver was just going by.
I'll tell you, this is dangerous stuff right here. What you're watching right now with York High with just a 6-0 lead, and finally Andre Callum decides, you know what? Time to get to the deck here. The Bearcat defense dodges another bullet. 4:53 to go in quarter number 3. And Bearcats will start at their own 20. Walker in, not much running room there. I'm sorry, that was Richardson, the ball carrier.
You know, the pressure has really been put back to the Reading defense a lot tonight. Not that that was a bad play, it just ended up being an interception. He threw it a little bit too long. Now the Reading defense, if they could hold them here, not allow them to even get one first down, York's going to have to kick it away. And if I'm not mistaken, that would be York's first punt of the night if they had to kick. Second, okay. But it would give them good field possession.
2nd down and 10. Boy, and again, penetration into the backfield as Mike Kynard with the carry and brought down behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of a couple, so it's going to be 3rd and long. We got to be impressed with this Reading defense. They really, really turned it around. And now just what you mentioned, Craig, 3rd and long for the Bearcats. If they don't get the first down here, Reading certainly should get pretty good field position. Davis pump faking down the middle, and is it caught? I believe it is. Big catch by Kynard and a even bigger throw by Jordan Davis.
It's a good throw, the pump fake. He pulls it back. I almost thought he was going to lose the football there. And then watch this catch by Kynard. It's pretty low.
Wow,
He
great catch.
gets his hands underneath it, cradles it, brings it up to his body, and gets a completion. That is a huge play, 3rd and very long.
Absolutely. First down out to the Bearcat 41. Kynard again. Running room, bounces off a tackler. And out across the midfield stripe to the Reading 49. There's a flag.
He is an extremely determined runner.
Yep.
He never goes down in the first hit.
Come on now, come on!
Boy, and holding again against York High.
Repeat first down.
You got to believe there's going to be a little discussion in the locker room tonight and over the rest of the weekend about the penalty situation. Bottom line is you can't live with it. So 1st and 20. And movement.
Another flag.
And Davis keeps the ball still on his feet. And he's out across the 40, but I think that one's coming back. I thought I saw movement in the York High backfield.
Illegal motion. Well, that was a good fake in the middle, and then Davis kept the ball, but to no avail. I think he was looking to come back to the inside and then stayed out.
Yeah, but I had so much wind, I could have do it.
Wow, York High really moving in the wrong direction.
There you see Davis finally being brought down, but it's all coming back, and now York High. I guess the good news is it's still first down. The bad news is it's almost over to Sovereign Bank Stadium to get the first down. Single back behind Davis. Looking, pulls it down, now being chased out of the pocket and brought down after a short gain. .52, Demetrius Lindsay. We called his number a lot tonight, too, for the Red Knights.
Good coverage that time by the Red Knights, and it allowed those guys to get in on Davis. So after that completion to Kynard to get him out of a hole for a first down, this has not been a good series for the Bearcats.
Second down and long, 1:40 to go here in quarter number 3. You see York High still clinging to that 6-0 lead. Kynard, just not much room. So 3rd and long, and I think right now, especially in this situation, Craig, you try to get as much yardage as you can. Just figure you're going to punt it away and try and improve your field position.
Yeah, by the time they run this play, there's going to be just under a minute in the third quarter. So they hold a 6-point advantage, and this has really become almost like a heavyweight boxing match where nobody's gaining an advantage. They're just kind of slugging away at the body with no powerful punches.
And a flag is, I saw the arm go up of the back judge, and I thought Davis saw it too, but he just kind of took his time behind center there, and it's going to cost York 5 more yards.
When you see the arm of the back judge go up, you've got to get that snap off because you only have 5 seconds.
Right.
That's to be an aid to the quarterback. So if he's not sure about the time coming, when he sees that arm go up, he's got to get the snap.
So we'll try third down again. Davis rolling, throwing, and caught. And out across the 45. And nice catch by Kevin Kearse. I'll tell you, the defender made the move on the football and cut in front of Kearse, and watch the concentration by Kevin Kearse to make the catch.
I thought this was a pretty good risk on the part of the defensive back. I thought he was actually going to pick this. He comes in there very quick at the correct angle, but the ball's a little higher than he thought it was. And you're right, Kearse showed great concentration.
And another flag. It's going to be offensive pass interference against the Bearcats. Unbelievable.
Okay, here's the rollout, and you're going to see the defensive back make a move on here. He's going to judge it, but the ball's higher than he thought. Well, obviously it's not Kearse.
It couldn't have been Kearse.
It is not Kearse that the penalty was called on. So not a pass interference, not an offensive pass interference, but the official said a blow to the head.
Yep.
But obviously in high school football, they don't name numbers or identify numbers.
And now a timeout. Is this the longest 4-down sequence in the history of football?
It's getting close.
It's getting close, isn't it? And the problem is York High is going backward, and Reading, you know, it's funny too. The other thing I was sitting here thinking about, same score as last year's game.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
Under much different circumstances.
But here they are. They've got to kick it away, and look where they're kicking from.
And you know, it's funny because it's another one of these games where, for the most part, it's York High has, I felt like York High's kind of been in control of this football game, but they're one play away and an extra point from losing this game tonight. You know, and when you have a guy like a Malcolm Williams or a Francis Camara gets the ball in their hands, makes one big play, and all of a sudden it could be going the other way.
Gary Miller at Bo Rule hand me this big stat. Penalties, York 11 for 70 yards, Reading 2 for 15.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, none bigger than that last one, because now you're standing in your end zone kicking.
The receiver for Reading is standing at the Bearcat 40, and look at this, a low snap. And Bullock is going to run with it, and boy, he put his head down, but Reading is going to get tremendous field position, Craig, at about the Bearcat 30.
And another flag. This time there was a skirmish on the sidelines. I don't think they're calling it a hit out of bounds, but they may call something like unsportsmanlike conduct, and it might be offsetting. You can never tell until the official sorts it out. But
watch Bullock, boom.
Oh, man.
And that was Williams that he just leveled, put the helmet down.
This will be an interesting call here.
Well, that takes away some of the great field position. 15 yards going to get marked off against Reading. See, we still have 23 seconds to go here in this third quarter. This last couple minutes is a penalty fest. You see Rich Shealer there explaining to Matt Ortega, the head coach of York High, what's going on, and the penalty went against Reading, but I'll tell you what, just based on the circumstances of what's been happening here over the last couple minutes, Matt Ortega cannot be a very happy camper.
This has not been a good third quarter for York, and in a way, not a good third quarter for Reading, because they had an opportunity to score, and they didn't. It was ended by the interception in the end zone.
So Reading does get it. They start at the Bearcat 46. Kresge in the shotgun. Looking on that slant pattern, and it's picked off. Andre Callum makes the interception. Thrown behind, intended for Malcolm Williams. And I got to tell you, Craig, York High has just done a wonderful job on Malcolm Williams tonight, and it's almost, I think, at the point where Reading needs to start looking other places.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they have really shut him down. Obviously, he was the focus of their defensive preparation this week. They knew he was a solid player wherever he was going to be placed on the field, whether it was at quarterback, slot back, wide out, or somewhere in the spread. So they've really done the job on Malcolm Williams.
So York High gets it back, and that's Kynard on the carry out near the 45. And that play is probably going to bring us to the end of the third quarter, maybe a chance for both teams to cool down a little bit and get set for the final 12 minutes. Well, it's exactly where we were at the end of quarter number 1 and at halftime. It's the end of 3, and York High still leads Reading by the score of 6-0.
I'm home.
Dad, you're not mad at me, are you?
I am. If you didn't save me some of those chips.
I did. Yeah.
I cannot believe you two.
Patience.
You forgot the dip.
Use it before you lose it. Ooh, that was close. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
.12 minutes remaining in what can only be termed as a sort of a bizarre third quarter. Just talk about no rhythm. there was none in that third quarter.
That was the anti-synergy quarter. I mean, there was just nothing working for either team. One step forward, 2 back.
Second down and 6 for the Bearcats at their own 45. Right now, if you're Matt Ortega, boy, you'd love to just be able to run the football, grind it out, and move down the field. And Davis takes the snap, keeps it himself, and moves forward for about 3. And we talked about rhythm, and part of that is being comfortable. As there you see Mike Kynard on the sideline with a cramp in the leg. There just has been very little comfort level on either side. I mean, and a lot of that has to do with the defenses, but
well, it's early on. It's week 1,
right?
And I think your assessment early that the defenses are going to be ahead and have an advantage till the offense comes together is playing out in this game.
Walker, boy, and nothing right at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to set up 4th and still about 2, and it looks like the Bearcats are going to send in the punt unit.
I think this is a good move. You know, there's been so many calls tonight. 3rd and 3, 4th and 3.5, 4 yard. Hard calls to make.
Yep.
You know, you're going to pass, are you going to run, and now are you going to kick? And certainly kicking here makes
well,
a lot
and
of
they're
sense.
tough calls in week 8, much less week 1, when the consistency certainly is not there yet. So I think a good move here.
And a very precarious game for the Bearcats, only up 6.
Yep. So Bullock to punt it.
Nice high kick.
Nice high kick. Williams takes it and is brought down right away. Sterling Daniels, another guy we've talked about a lot tonight.
Gotta love him. 5'10", 190, strong safety, senior. And I tell you, once again, Williams doesn't get his motor running.
Yep.
He wants to head out on the highway.
That's really the place to put him, though, is at punt return. I think it's the best opportunity he has to get the football in an open field position, but not that time.
8-0-1-2. 0-3-1-8-0-1-2.
So Reading takes over at their own 22. Kresge back in there again. And this, if you're looking for Williams, he's in the slot on the near side. And trying to go right up the middle is Kamara, and not much running room there. And I don't think that's the way you're going to get it done if you're Reading tonight. Although I know, got to throw that run in there every once in a while to keep the defense honest, right?
There's still over 10 minutes to go in this football game, and you're only down 6. Kresge, when he's thrown, is thrown well. And I'm sure he wants that pass back that got intercepted in the end zone.
We know they've thrown a lot of slant patterns tonight, and it really kind of maybe set up something to go deep here, because York High has really covered that slant, and their safeties have come up pretty strong. Kresge throwing the out, and it's going to be wide of the intended receiver, Corey Baldwin. So it's going to be third down.
And Reading's just getting themselves in way too many third and longs.
So that's kind of interesting that time, Craig. I was watching this safety for York High and shifted over toward the short side of the field, that being Carl Barnes, and on the far side was Williams and another receiver, and he goes out there again. And take a look, Craig, it's sort of one-on-one out there on that far side. Now Barnes starts to move over a little bit that way. Kresge looking in that direction, throwing downfield, and nobody home as Williams was in the general vicinity, but
looked like Williams thought sideline and Kresge thought over the middle.
Yep. So fourth down, and Mr. Tomlinson again is here. You get a look at it, and then you'll see at the end of this sequence, Williams is close, but not really.
Next week, York High heads to McCaskey over in Lancaster, and Reading travels to Pottsville.
And Tomlinson had trouble handling the snap and was able to just get it away, and it bounds out to the Reading 43-yard line. So here's another opportunity, Craig, for York High to really kind of put the finishing touches on this game. Here you get a look at the York High schedule. At McCaskey next week, Susquehannock, Central, York, Harrisburg. How about that first 5 games, huh?
Pretty tough.
Wow.
Pretty tough. It doesn't get any easier the last 5.
Well, it doesn't. You're right.
Dallastown's been down the last couple of years. Spring Grove Redline Southwestern.
And same with Reading. Pottsville, Governor Mifflin, McCaskey, Penn Manor, Manheim Township, Hempfield, Wilson. When you're in Section 1 of the LL League, you're playing some tough competition.
So Malik Generette back in the game for the first time in the second half.
And fumbles the snap immediately.
It's been Jordan Davis since the intermission. And so Malik Generette takes the first snap of his second half with 9:15 to go in the ball game.
You know, it's funny, Craig. We've done these games for a long time, and when you get these games that just don't have that flow to them, boy, it's. I mean, York High it should be in the driver's seat right now with the lead. I mean, but as you mentioned, one big play could change this whole game around.
I find myself internally rooting for both teams to get in rhythm and
get their act together.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Second down 11. And too long again. Delay of game. So the Bearcats going to tack 5 more yards onto that penalty total. Second down and 16.
Sometimes that can be blamed on the offensive coordinator not getting the play at one time, but to me it looked like Malik wasn't just getting them up to the line quickly and getting the play called in the huddle and getting out and getting it in gear.
Richardson in motion, Jenneret, pressure from the backside, and boy, intended for Kynard, 55. Andrew Badillo, I think, tipped it. And there was some good penetration and pressure on Jenneret as well. So now 3rd down and long.
Boy, how many times have we seen this tonight? 3rd and long, 2nd and long.
I got to tell you, Craig, if York High doesn't make the first down here, I think if I'm Victor Brown on the Reading side, I think I'm really going to go after the punter.
I agree, based on time and field position. Because your offense hasn't gotten it done. You've got to see if your special teams.
Jenneret, and he's going to go down. Angel Ramos with the tackle, and boy, York High,
it was a coverage sack. It was a pressure sack. The only good thing that happened on that play is Malik Jenneret protected the football.
Right.
Because he could have almost fumbled this. He's got the ball out. Now, as soon as he feels he's getting tackled, watch, he'll make every effort to pull it in and protect it.
Well, we'll see if Reading does go after the kick here. They have a lone back in Freddie Pena to try to return this punt from Mike Bullock. Good snap that time. Looks like Reading is trying to set up the return, and Pena, boy, gets on it down around the 24-yard line.
I don't think that ball grazed him, but at the end, I think he thought, what if the official thinks it
right.
did?
Better,
so that was a pretty good play.
Better make the safe play, right, and get on it. There you see some of the crowd here tonight at Smalls Athletic Field.
Lots of orange and blue.
Yep.
Great pregame by the York High Band. They usually do a postgame as well, and a very entertaining halftime show by the Reading Red Knight Marching Band.
7:37 to go in the game. First and 10, and it's pretty much time for Reading. They're going to have to do something here soon.
And even when the game is kind of neutral, boy, it's still a great atmosphere, isn't it? Friday night high school football.
Sure is. Kresge brought down. Wilfredo Martinez in on the tackle, and Kresge again. You know, he had a little time there to look over the field, but finally Martinez gets in.
Yeah, pretty good protection, and finally breaks there. Martinez actually makes a good play, man. He gets him around the hips and then slides down and gets his ankle. Clock.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the final stats, Craig. It almost seems like teams are going to have less yards at the end of the game than they had at halftime. Seems like everybody's going backwards, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Kresge flips it out. And Williams makes the catch, eludes a couple people, but is finally brought down. Andre Westry, number 44, in on the tackle for the Bearcats. And they get back the first down loss, so now it's going to be 3rd and about 10.
Normally, Chris, I would say there's plenty of time to go in this game as we come up to 6 minutes and 30 seconds. As you take a look at this last play, the sideline was helpful there to the defense. But with the way both offenses have been performing, both teams, I'm sure, are going to do some clock watching now as each minute ticks away.
So 3rd down and 10. Reading is like the slant pattern. Kresge getting flushed out of the pocket. And not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Walker and Westry in on the tackle, and York High's defense again answers the call, and it's going to be 4th down for Reading.
I know who does a great job here? Number 85, Anderson Henry. Watch how he keeps Kresge contained. He fights off the block. Now watch, he doesn't make the tackle, but he does not allow him to get outside, and he does allow his teammates to converge and make the tackle.
And another guy we've talked about tonight quite a bit, Anderson Henry, just a junior. And on the run, and York High is going to have some great field position inside the 30. Andre Callum takes that punt on the dead run. And now York High is going to start deep in Reading territory. 5:28 to go in the game. And a chance for York High to finally put this game out of reach.
It's an excellent return. Wow, what a block right there.
Yep. Kubacki, number 41, tackling Callum.
Sorry we didn't get the number on that blocker, but that allowed him to get another 8 to 10 yards on that play.
Jenneret back in there again, a quarterback for York High. He's going to give it to Walker on the left side, and Walker inside of the 25. Nice gain on first down.
You almost sense now, like mentally, York's getting the edge for the last 5 minutes and 14 seconds of this game. They seem to have a little bit more bounce in their step. And look, that Reading defense has been out there a long time.
Yeah, they
Remember,
have.
time of possession in the first half was over 15 minutes. And so in the second half, they've been out in the field a long time. Now, if you're looking for at least something to say, there's been enough penalties called that each team has kind of gotten breathers quite regularly.
Right, but Brandon Walker just hobbles off the field again. I think that leg cramp is starting to act up again for him. So Martinez back in there, and he gets the carry and doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Kubacki, 41, in on the tackle again. 10th grader, man, he's had a heck of a night tonight.
Well, it's like I said earlier, when you see a sophomore starting at the level, the size school that we're talking about here, you know that they've got some skills. It's very difficult to insert them in a lineup this early and have them be productive, and certainly Kubacki has been extremely productive tonight on defense.
Second back, and Kiner gets a couple. It's going to be close to the first down. Probably a little bit shy, but probably no decision to be made here. York High definitely going to go for it on 4th and 1. And with 3:47 and counting, this is pretty close to being a last gasp here for Reading, I think. Martinez, boy, almost all the way. Brought down by the ankles, but plenty for a York High first down. As the Bearcats move it down to about the 11-yard line.
Now it is just extremely important to protect the football. I mean, obviously they want to punch it in here and put this game away, but at the very least, they're going to be running the football on 4 consecutive downs to keep the clock moving and to give themselves an opportunity to score. I don't think you'll see them throw the football here.
Kynard, left side, has a blocker and has a York High touchdown. Brad Engel leading the way. The play was designed to go up the middle, but Kynard bounces it to the outside.
And I'll tell you what, if Kynard's going to have anybody to give a soda to tonight, it's Brad Engel, because Engel has blocked extremely well for Kynard all night long when he gets to the outside. And it was his block that really allowed Kynard to just kind of dance into the end zone and give the Bearcats what is probably an insurmountable lead.
And York High has to use a timeout, getting the right people out there for the point after touchdown. Here you get a look at the run again, and right there, Kynard recognized quickly, Craig, that it wasn't going to be an opening in the middle.
Yeah, got good blocks all along the line of scrimmage. But there's number 51, Engel. He just takes care of the cornerback, and there is no way that they're going to stop Kynard from getting into the end zone. So a 5-play, 2-minute, 24-second drive results in a 10-yard touchdown run by Mike Kynard. And the Bearcats go up by 12 with 3:06 to play in the ballgame.
Well, let's give a little more. Let's give some more props to Brad Engel, 6'3", 230-pound offensive tackle, a senior, and well, nothing better than for an offensive lineman than doing what number 51 does right here, Craig.
Right. He's going to feel as good about this touchdown as Mike Keinert and the team is, because he knows he made a major contribution.
So York High's going to go for 2, leading by 12. Keinert in motion. And Walker can't get into the end zone. Boy, good job there. I thought Walker was going to be able to get in, but a good pretty much open field tackle by Travis Wynn. So 3:06 remaining in the game, and York High now leads at 12-0.
But there was a flag on the play, but I think it was against York High.
Yeah, it was.
Illegal motion.
Yep. So barring something extremely dramatic, York High is going to get their first win of the season. And
on blue, heavy decline.
I think what we saw tonight, Craig, was glimpses of what these Bearcats potentially could be.
Well, and I think what's interesting to me, Kevin, is next week they're going to McCaskey to play. Then they play at home against Susquehannock, and in week 4, we're going to see them play. We're going to do that game, York High at Central York.
Right.
And a lot of people are saying, expecting, and there's what we're doing next week on Comcast, Hanover at York Suburban from Dick May Field. But a lot of people are thinking in terms of the York County League as York High Central in that top tier.
And those two teams on your screen, two teams that will be battling it out, and York Suburban, one of the top teams in Division II. Hanover Nighthawks looking to sort of bounce back after a tough year last year, but tonight it's the Bearcats, and they're going to walk away with first win of the season. At least that's the way it appears anyway.
And what I like about doing a team a second time in a season is to see how they progress in that interim period.
And if you're half full glass kind of person, York High gets the win, but still a lot of things to improve on. And the low kick taken there by Jason Stewart, and his knee was down, so that's where Reading will take over. 3:04 remaining in the football game.
I think the key to this game, Chris, 3:04 to go. Reading, you can't say Reading's offense has been ineffective. You can say ineffective. But what I think the key to the game was how York High shut down Williams.
Yep.
And when you shut down a playmaker like Williams, psychologically you gain in game, and your opportunity to win is much greater. And that's what they did, because he had negative yardage at halftime, and it hasn't gotten any better here in the second half.
No, absolutely not. And yeah, if you were going to pick one thing out about this football game, I think that you're absolutely right, Craig. That would be it. And
you know, it's almost like the psychology of, you know, if there's a group and you're going to be confronted, go for the strongest guy in the group, and try to make an example out of him. And I think the York High defense was effective in taking Williams out of this game. They knew coming in he was the linchpin, he was the keystone to their offense, and they effectively shut him down.
Second down and 10. Kresge looking, has time, firing deep, and it's going to be well overthrown. Williams, the intended receiver. 3 Bearcat defenders down there waiting for him. And not to take anything away from Malcolm Williams, because obviously he's a tremendous talent. He appears to be better suited defensively as a college football player. And that's where schools are looking. Based on what we've seen tonight. I mean, and again, give credit to York High, but we've seen, how about some of the hits Williams made defensively coming up out of the safety spot. Kresge flushed out of the pocket, looking deep again. This time has a receiver. Oh, and almost caught there. Corey Baldwin. It's been to make a long story short, it's been a tough night for number 7.
It has been. The guy's still, Matt Ortega, man, he is just still coaching right down to that last minute. You never chalk up the win until the clock goes off.
Here again, watch just a glimpse of the strength of the arm of Robert Kresge.
It's a good throw, really, just right through the arms.
That was a tough catch, though. And the ball down at about the 48, 2:37 to go. The Bearcats in the lead with the football, and now it's a matter of running behind that big offensive line and just burning the clock out. It's kind of interesting. We mentioned in the beginning, Victor Brown and Matt Ortega both in their 4th season. I think Matt Ortega probably took over a situation that was a little better than Victor Brown did, but you get the sense that both of these programs are on the upswing.
I totally agree. I think they're both going to be fine this year and in the years to come.
And going right up the middle and down to the 45-yard line of Reading is Mike Kynard. He's had a big night tonight, including the clinching touchdown a couple minutes ago. We just got to believe, though, York High in the York Area League with that offensive line should be able to wear some people down.
Yeah, when you think of the backs that they have, Robert Richardson, who scored on the long, quick run to the outside, and then Kynard in the middle, and let's not forget the big fullback.
Big Walker, Brandon Walker, the fullback, has really got some tough yards.
To me, they have 3 very credible backs to run the ball. They've got 2 quarterbacks that can handle the offense.
Right.
And just in this game alone, they about split time. And so obviously Davis got enough game tune-up that he's ready to play maybe some more next week. And
I mean, if you're on the Reading side, Victor Brown, I get the sense that he's kind of, after tonight, has made the determination Kresge's going to be his quarterback. Williams is going to play in multiple positions. On the York High side, it's a lot more confusing at this point, don't you think?
I think so, just based on playing time. I mean, pretty much Williams was only in there for just, 1 or 2 series at the beginning, and then for the most part, Kresge took over.
Right. On the York High side, Jenneret's been in there. But Davis they've split time, but
Jenneret didn't come in the second half until the 10-minute mark of the 4th quarter.
Right.
And Jordan Davis had the minutes up until that point. However, Malik Jenneret took care of the whole first half. So, I mean, I think you got to say Malik Jenneret obviously is number 1, but Jordan Davis looks to me like at this point 1A.
Kynard still on his feet and finally brought down. Big number 73, Demrick Cook, tackles Kynard. And it looks like Reading's going to call another timeout with 1:38 to go. And here you see Kynard still running hard, trying to gets out of the arms of Demetrius Lindsay.
What did I say about him earlier? He is such a determined runner that he has not gone down one time tonight on the first hit.
And getting back to that Jenneret Davis thing at quarterback for York High, what I was a little bit surprised by was the fact that Jenneret, when Davis was quarterbacking, Jenneret wasn't on the field for the most part. No. And I kind of thought we might see him at multiple positions like we saw Williams.
No, but we didn't. He clearly just stood on the sidelines while Davis was running.
And it's kind of interesting because Malik Jenneret, what a great athlete, 6'4", 6'5". Well, you kind of think that somehow you got to be able to, one way or another, have him on the field quite a bit.
Future Bearcat?
Could be.
That's what you got to do. You got to generate interest among the young kids if they want to grow up and be a Bearcat or a Red Knight, should they be on the other side of the field.
So 1:02 to go, 4th down. Bullock in for another punt.
Williams with one more chance to make an impression on the crowd tonight. Malcolm Williams, 4.4 speed, but he really hasn't had a chance to show it.
Not at all.
Every time he has touched the football tonight, he has been stifled.
And kick lands, one hop to Williams.
And once again, it is clear to me that the York High defense and special teams have ratcheted up their focus on Williams, because Malcolm Williams has been a target tonight.
And couldn't you sense Williams getting up off the ground there? A frustrated young man tonight.
He's very frustrated because he has had no opportunity to show his speed and his moves because of the way he's been swarmed by the blue shirts.
Well, and if you're a coach and it's week one, nothing better than getting that W, finding out some areas you need to work on, and going back to work.
That's what these games are about. Preseason, prepare for the regular season, but it's also chalking up points for potential district consideration.
Kresge looking deep again, all kinds of defenders back there, and intercepted. Callum with his second interception of the night. And I'll tell you, Andre Callum timed that one perfectly.
Really did. He became the receiver on that play.
So another Reading turnover, and now the Bearcats will take over for what we hope is the final time.
I think they'll obviously go very conservative here. I wouldn't say so far as to take knees on 3 different downs, although Reading has used, I think, 2 of their timeouts.
Well, there's the knee. Knee number 1, and we're down under 1:20 to go.
Well, they didn't have to deal with the elements this year. They played in extremely heavy rain last year at Reading, and the Bearcats came out, as we said earlier in the open, a 6-0 victor in overtime in that game. And tonight, the Bearcats score once in the first half, once in the second half, and it looks like they're going to be able to put this one in the books at a 12-0 victory over the Reading Red Knights.
Under 40 seconds to go, and maybe one more snap for the Bearcats, and that'll do it. So Jeanneret back into the York High huddle. And one more knee. And that will do it tonight here from Smalls Athletic Field. York High, the Bearcats, win their season opener over the Reading Red Knights by the score of 12-0 and start the season at 1-0. And there you see the happy York High fans here at the Meadow tonight. Well, that'll do it for our coverage here tonight on Comcast. For our statisticians, Bo Rule, Gary Miller, my broadcast partner, Craig Smith, our producer-director, Dan Butler, and the rest of the Comcast crew. This is Chris Buff. Thanks for joining in, everybody, and we'll see you next week. The Hanover Nighthawks take on the York Suburban Trojans. Good night, everybody.